Sharpening our intellect, using that sharpened intellect to study Shastra, and using that sharp intellect while studying Shastra to clearly know what should be the goal, what should be the means. Then the same intellect has to always be alert to avoid whatever is not the sadhana and do only the sadhana. In this way, when we live life at intellect's level, using it for the main purpose for which it is given, for which we are given the opportunity called as life, then we are matured, we have become sadhakas. Any life lived other than intellectual level, understanding level, understanding of Shastra level, through the Shastra, the final goal and means, that is the life of non intellectual, therefore, not a wise living, it is an ignorant living. That is what binds us. So, all the Guru Shastras give us information, knowledge. Receiving it is our job. And who receives is I. Through what? My intellect. Therefore, minding our intellect, sharpening it, making it subtle, and listening, studying, understanding, then making the things happen, the things called as sadhanas, is the job of me through my intellect for my own liberation from my own bondage. In this way, when we start understanding, then our being with the gurus, shastras, or doing upasanas, etc., are rightly resulting. We can accept. Intellect exposed to shastras under the guidance of the guru is rightly used intellect and life. Intellect not exposed to shastras, left to the discretion and guidance or misguidance of anything called our mind or senses, that is a deluded intellect. Always remember, moha or delusion is in the intellect. What is it? That it is either not used correctly or it is misused wrongly. This is called delusion and they go together. When it is correctly used, then there is no misuse. There is no correct usage, then obviously there is a misuse. Correct use of intellect is study Shastra, know the goal and means. Wrong use of intellect is not studying Shastra, not knowing ultimate goal or means, but only listening to the mind and senses, doing whatever they say. That is what is the delusion all of us live. And the big part of delusion is we don't even recognize that we are in delusion. We don't want to accept that we are in delusion and we don't want to come out of the delusion. This is the big part of delusion. That's how the story kahani goes on. Even for spiritual seekers also. They start doing some sadhana with intellect's understanding. Once intellect decides, it passes it on to mind and senses. Mind does that sadhana and mind gets fixed in that. In that also mind gets habituated. Again there, the intellect gets blocked in both ways. He to observe whether what for this sadhana is done is that result coming or not. Then what is the next sadhana beyond this? These two things, if the intellect doesn't think and go further, then again being a spiritual seeker also, we are again deluded. That is why in Vajagovindam, he talks about all those sannyasis, tirthayatris, upasakas, telling that you are still in delusion. They are doing spiritual things only. But then their mind is fixed in doing one thing routinely, forgetting the main or ultimate goal. They take the means to be the goal, and the goal is not remembered again and again by the intellect. So, kurute Ganga Sagara Gamanam, Up from the Ganga to the Sagara, they do the walkings or parikramas or the darshanas, pilgrimages. Vrata paripalanam, oh, variety of the vratas they do. Athava dhanam, lot of charities, etc. And so many. But they miss because of delusion the main point that jnana vihinaha sarvamatena bhajati na muktim janmashatena. Without the tattva jnana, atma jnana, brahma jnana, by doing all the above said things, we may get better lives, but mukti will not come. Therefore, O Mudamate Govindam Bhaja. So to Jatilo Mundi Lunchita Keshaha Kashayambara Bahukruta Veshaha. Somebody Jatila, full of hairs, some is Mundi, Pura Nikal Diya Bal, Lunchita Keshaha, the one by plucking the hair in between, he just is in that shape. All are in different Kashayambara and different Bahukruta Vesha. But they don't know that these sannyasadi ashramas are for knowing the truth. They know it, but still they don't know. That is what the delusion. Then what for these sannyasa dikshas? Udara nimittam bahukruta vesha. Fate palne ke vaste all the vesha bhusha they do. So these blasting even them also means deluded in the intellect. So the Jatila is a Hindu sannyasi, Mundi is a Buddha sannyasi, Lunchitakesha is a Jaina sannyasi. So at that time, these three were very famous. Lunchitakesha means they just pluck the hair and tolerate the pain of the body. That is how they try to come out of Deha Tadatmya. That is their Paddhati. So in this way, what we have seen today in our introduction is declutching the intellect from the clutches of mind senses, clutching the intellect seriously, sincerely, regularly, only to the Shastras through Guru's guidance, getting the clarity regarding what is the ultimate goal to be reached, that is Paramatma Anubhuti, also getting the clarity of all sadhanas, from where we are till what we have to reach to finally. Then sticking only to that, guiding senses mind only to help in that. If not, just keep them away. Let the intellect engage in the inquiry. This is called as correct way of living spiritual evolutionary life. All else is delusion. So maybe through the study of Shastra, that way empower our intellects with the ultimate goal and means sticking to that, let us ensure our own progress. Today also we'll have our Taittiriya Parayanam class with Bhashyam. Then we'll have Yoga Darshanam with Vyasa Bhashyam for some time. Then Mundaka Upanishad, Gita, evening Bhagavatam, 12th Skandha, few more slokas, 10th Skandha, few more introspections we learn from Muchakunda Raja. Then some more are the final touches of the Upasana, which Bhagavan tells to Lakshmana called as Kriya Yoga. So this is how our beautiful one more day given by the Lord, we try our best again to dedicate to reach to Him only. Let the prarabdhas come and go. Let whatever the duties we have to let it do, but spare time, mind, etc. for doing these things with increased genuinity, with increased inspiration, with increased zeal and zest, and also with the fear and frustration that we are not doing it well. We have to do better because we can do, therefore, because we should do. In that way, we have to help our own selves in the spiritual path, especially in making our inner equipments charged for this work. All the outer resources to inspire and charge us are temporary. They are not called inspirations, they are called motivations. What comes from within is called inspiration. A motivated life is good but temporary. An inspired life is permanent. Inspiration is I am convinced about my goal with its greatness. I want to reach it at every cost. For that, I am ready to pay every cost and price. That is called as inspiration. Like you come to the class. any cost coming to the class. So as we are inspired to do this, even the higher things, till we reach the goal, we have to be inspired to do. May the Lord bless us with that. Thank you. Om, Om, Om. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahano Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu, Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahma Dibhyo, Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo, Om Sarusibhyo, Mahadbhyo, Namo Gurubhyaha. Om Sarvopaplavarahitaha, Prajnanaganaha, Pratyagarthaha, ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि. ॐ नारायणं पद्मभवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तं तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि. ॐ निधये सर्वविद्यानां विषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. ॐ व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः. ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्. ॐ भव एव भवानिधि मे नितरां समजायत चेतसि कौतुकिता मम वारय मोहमहाजलधिं भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम्. ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं दत्तमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तन्नमामि. ॐ परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्त ब्रह्मविद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः. श्री वेदव्यास वैशम्पायन याज्ञवल्क्यादिशङ्करादिगुरुभ्यो नमः. अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः. संकल्पः तेषां सर्वेषां गुरूणां देवतानां कृपया उपनिषदुक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधसिद्ध्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य वैदिकसंस्कृतेः अद्वैतज्ञानस्य हैन्दवसंस्कृतेः पुनरुत्थान पुनर्जागरण विश्वव्याप्तिद्वारा समस्त विश्वशान्ति कल्याण एकता सुख सामरस्य प्राप्त्यर्थं तत्कृते समस्त भक्त साधकानां दिग्विजय प्राप्त्यर्थं शत्रुविघ्न निवारण द्वारा साधना संपदा अनुकूलतानां प्राप्ति द्वारा अस्यां शुभतिथौ श्री कृष्णयजुर्वेदान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषदः पारायणम् आद्यशङ्कराचार्य भाष्य समेत अध्ययनं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे. आदौ पारायणं we have to do abhaya pratishtha in our chanting. That is the actual thing which we study also today to start. ॐ असद्वा इदमग्र आसीत् ततो वै सदजायत तदात्मानग्गस्वयमकुरुत तस्मात् तत्सुकृतमुच्यत इति यद्वै तत्सुकृतं रसो वै सः रसगह्येवायं लब्ध्वानन्दी भवति को ह्येवान्यात् कः प्राण्यात् यदेष आकाश आनन्दो न स्यात् एष ह्येवानन्दयाति यदा ह्येवैष एतस्मिन्न दृश्येनात्म्ये निरुक्ते अनिलयने अभयं प्रतिष्ठां विन्दते अतसो अभयं गतो भवते यदा ह्येवैष एतस्मिन्नुदरमन्तरं कुरुते अथ तस्य भयं भवते तत्त्वेव भयं विदुषो मन्वानस्य तदप्येष श्लोको भवति भीषास्माद्वातः पवते भीषोदेति सूर्यः भीषास्मादग्निश्चेन्द्रश्च मृत्युर्धावति पञ्चम इति सैषानन्दस्य मीमागं सा भवति युवा स्यात् साधु युवाध्यायकः आशिष्ठो दृढिष्ठो बलिष्ठः तस्येयं पृथिवी सर्वा वित्तस्य पूर्णा स्यात् स एको मानुष आनन्दः ते शतं मानुषा आनन्दाः स एको मनुष्यगन्धर्वाणामानन्दः श्रोत्रियस्य चाकामः तस्य ते ये शतं मनुष्यगन्धर्वाणामानन्दाः स एको देवगन्धर्वाणामानन्दः श्रोत्रियस्य चाकामः तस्य ते ये शतं देवगन्धर्वाणामानन्दाः स एकः पितॄणां चिरलोकलोकानामानन्दः श्रोत्रियस्य चाकामः तस्य ते ये शतं पितॄणां चिरलोकलोकानामानन्दाः स एक आजानजानां देवानामानन्दः श्रोत्रियस्य चाकामः तस्य ते ये शतमाजानजानां देवानामानन्दाः स एकः देवानामानन्दः ये कर्मणा देवानपि यन्ते श्रोत्रियस्य चाकामः तस्य ते ये शतं देवानामानन्दाः स एको देवानामानन्दः श्रोत्रियस्य चाकामः तस्य ते ये शतं देवानामानन्दाः स एक इन्द्रस्यानन्दः श्रोत्रियस्य चाकामः तस्य ते ये शतमिन्द्रस्यानन्दाः स एको बृहस्पतेरानन्दः श्रोत्रियस्य चाकामः तस्य ते ये शतं बृहस्पतेरानन्दाः स एकः प्रजापतेरानन्दः श्रोत्रियस्य चाकामः तस्य ते ये शतं प्रजापतेरानन्दाः स एको ब्रह्मण आनन्दः श्रोत्रियस्य चाकामः तस्य स यश्चायं पुरुषे यश्चासावादित्ये स एकः स एवं विद अस्मात् लोकात् प्रेत्य एतमन्नमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रामति एतं प्राणमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रामति एतं मनोमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रामति एतं विज्ञानमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रामति एतमानन्दमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रामति तदप्येष श्लोको भवति यतो वाचो निवर्तन्ते अप्राप्य मनसा सह आनन्दं ब्रह्मणो विद्वान् न बिभेति कुतश्च नेति एतगं हवावन तपदे किमहं साधुना करवं किमहं पापमकरवमिति स य एवं विद्वानेते आत्मानग् स्पृणुते उभे हि वैष एते आत्मानग् स्पृणुते य एवं वेद इत्युपनिषद ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ श्रीकृष्णयजुर्वेदान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीयोपनिषद शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मावादिशं ऋतमवादिशं सत्यमवादिशं तन्मामावीत् तद्वक्तारमावीत् आवीन्माम् आवीद्वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ यस्मात् जातं जगत्सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रणीयते येनेदं धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः येरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं तैत्तिरीयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरुचीनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते ॐ अथ षष्ठोऽनुवाकः ॐ असन्नेव स भवते असद्ब्रह्मेति वेद चेत् अस्ति ब्रह्मेति चेद्वेद सन्तमेनं ततो विदुरिति तस्यैष एव शारीर आत्मा यः पूर्वस्य अथातोऽनुप्रश्नाः उदा विद्वानमं लोकं प्रेत्य कश्चन गच्छति आहो विद्वानमं लोकं प्रेत्य कश्चित् समश्नुताहो सोगामयत बहुश्यां प्रजा ये येते सतपोतप्यत सतपस्तप्त्वा इदगं सर्वमसृजत इदं किञ्च तत्सृष्ट्वा तदेवानुप्राविशत् तदनुप्रविश्य सच्चत्यच्चाभवत् निरुक्तं च निलयनं च विज्ञानं च सत्यं चानृतं च सत्यमभवत् यदिदं किञ्च तत्सत्यमित्याचक्षते तदप्येष श्लोको भवति ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. Yes, friends, straight away we have seen this one. Ki vijnanam cha avijnanam cha. Vijnanam is whatever is chetanam. Avijnanam chetana rahitam, tad rahitam, that is achetanam, pashanadi. So whatever the chetanavat jiva koti is there, whatever the achetanavan, the pashana koti is there, in that rupa, that same Brahman is expressing go. He alone through his sankalpa has appearing like this. One is for his own Leela, second is for you and I, the Jivas to do sadhana to reach him. Our job is discovering the same substratum truth behind the Chetana and Achetana and identifying with that as our essential self. Then I discover myself to be everything. There is no thing other than me. Only when there is something other than me that there is a samsara of every and any sort. When there is only one truth, in that samsara is impossible. So in this way, then satyam. Satyam cha means vyavahara vishayam. Adhikaratu na paramartha satyam. So all that satyam in this world, which is actually perceived by the senses as it they are, that is called satyam. It is not the paramartha satyam that is spoken here in this world. Why? Ekam eva hi paramartha satyam brahma. Brahman is a paramartha satyam. In that paramartha satyam Brahman, be attentive. There is no satyam and anrutam vyavaharika. It is illuminating and supporting both Vyavaharika, Satyam as well as Anrutam. Catch that point. Just like in the good people also, the same conscious existing self is there. In the bad people also, the conscious pure existence self is there. This conscious self supports the goodness of good person, badness of bad person. Without itself is either good or bad. Again, same thought we have to understand that the bad cannot be the means to discover the Satyam. To discover the Satyam, from the bad to the good we have to come to. On the other hand, the bad is the obstruction to know the Satyam. Therefore, to remove the obstruction called as the bad, we do good. But to reach to the Satyam or Paramatma, even good also has to be dropped. Then we will discover that Paramatma Satyam, which is supporting every opposite things in this world. It is so, you know, the one matter, let us say Panchamahabhuta, earth, they themselves support the birth of the things as well as death of the things. Is it not? My nose alone supports the bad odor as well as good odor. My tongue only supports both the tasty sweets, the bitter other things. My own mind supports the very noble qualities of charity, love, forgiveness. Same mind is supporting the kama, the vikara also. Is it not? My intellect only has the righteous understandings and the crooked misunderstandings. Finally, the self is the one which supports both the pairs of opposite of every sort. Itself doesn't fall under their category. But among those two pair of two things, one is the obstruction to know the truth, other is helpful to know the truth. Therefore, taking the help of the helpful, avoiding the obstruction to the self, we have to reach to the self. While doing so, this also has to be dropped. By the way, keep it in mind. So here Satyam is Sapekshika Vyavaharika Satyam, na Paramarthikam. Because in Paramarthika Satyam, which is Brahma, it is Ekameva Advayam. In that there are no two things or no corresponding opposite thing. It is a peculiar thing, supports every pair. Himself, it doesn't get affected by any one of them. This way only it is spoken or explained. Okay, and that is only experiential. To experience it, what was the earlier pair of opposite, those things we have to transcend. So that is why in one way, what is realization? Identifying with that because of which everything is possible. And what is everything in our life? Jagra, Sapna, Sushupti. It is something other than these three, beyond those three, supporting all the three, not affected by those three. This is the only way it will be told, because otherwise it is nirvyavahara, it is nirveshaya, and it is neither the object nor the jada to be known. It is Shuddha Sat Chita, subject only. To explain about it, these are the only words or the ways the Guru can use to tell. When we listen for a long time, suddenly one day the Viveka Khyati gets generated in us that I am something other than these three. Then who am I? In that inquiry, we reach to that Sadgana Vastu. But Vedanta's knowledge helps in traveling smoothly, provided that knowledge we get thoroughly. That is what we are studying through all these Panchakosha Viveka, where we began only. Like somebody in the seventh starts a physics text. So he only began studying physics. The whole physical science he cannot study in one seventh class. Even you study for the whole life the physics, it is a subject it never ends. Vedanta, we just started, keep on studying, becoming master of it, then do the sadhana. So the word you used is satyam cha anrutam cha abhavatu. He is telling that also is pair of two things like the earlier said pairs in whose form Paramatma is expressing for the Vyavaharika purpose. Himself is not going through those modifications. He became Sat and Tyat, but he is neither Sat nor Tyat. He became Abhavat as Niruktam Aniruktam. He is neither Niruktam nor Aniruktam. Like, I support my speech, I support my silence. Is it not? Nilayanam cha anilayanam. It supports the abodes, it supports the non-abode also. ABODE. Nilayanam. So too, it supports the Vijnanam, the Chaitanyam. It supports the Pashana, the Avijnanam opposite. Achetanam. Here also, Satyam cha Anrutam cha Abhavatu. That sentence we are studying. The same Parabrahma alone is Satyam. Here it is not Paramarthika Satyam. It is Vyavaharika Satyam. Example given, compared to the Anruta mirage water, the water in that pond or well or the lake is Satyam. So this is Sapekshika Satyam. Then the other thing, what is the mirage water? It is Anrutam. Both Satyam and Anrutam are expression of that Paramatma only. When we see Paramatma in them, they don't bind us. When we don't see Paramatma in them, that's called the ignorance. Then we get deluded. The delusion is these two are real. The moment we take these two as real or Satyam, we are lost in samsara. So the Lord is present in and through. Our job is seeing the Lord who is present in and through. Then experience the Lord, not that through which Bhagavan is expressing or as which Bhagavan is expressing. Okay? And we, because of not knowing this deeper intellectual knowledge, we are lost in the world, though in that very same world the Paramatma is there. देखो यही है मजेदार बात, यही माया है. The whole universe is nothing but Paramatma, our own real self. But the whole real self is expressing in these forms. Not knowing real self as self, getting lost in the seen all the forms is called samsara. देखो. Mm. Then the samsaraka namarup is the karana which we give undue importance and value. Then our thinking actions become that namarupa oriented. It is over. It's just like a boy went to the school or a college. Suddenly he saw a girl. Then he starts slowly thinking about her. More and more as he thinks about her, His purpose for which he has come to the college slowly goes away. So he is now deluded, mohagrast ho gaya wo. So when he comes back home from America after 4 years, instead of getting the degree, he will get that girl as a daughter-in-law and a child. Same is our life. We have come into this world to know the self. Whole world is the means to know the self for the one who has spiritual Upanishadic Jnanam. Those who don't have this Upanishadic Jnanam, whole world everywhere is a cause for his delusion. Like that boy, once he got deluded with that girl, then it continues. It spreads its wings. He thinks about her. He longs to talk to her. Then he goes to buy gifts for her. Then he takes her for this or that programs nonsense. एक के बाद एक फिर हो ही जाता है delusion. In the same way, if we don't have the spiritual knowledge thoroughly, where it clearly says that the world is means, Paramatma is the goal. If that knowledge is not there, then this world, where, see, like, when you have the knowledge, wherever the mind goes, it is samadhi. Yatra yatra manoyati, tatra tatra samadhaya. Where the spiritual knowledge is not there, wherever the mind goes, it is samsara. We are all slowly gaining that knowledge of seeing Paramatma everywhere, thus not getting trapped by samsara. So far, we were seeing Paramatma only, but in the form of Sat, Tyat, Niruktam, Aniruktam. But because we have not known Paramatma, the Sat, Tyat, Niruktam, Aniruktam is taken as by us as real. The moment we take it as real, the consequences of likings, dislikings, continuation of the involvements, and then all that bondages, they obviously come out. It's so everywhere. I join an office just to do the job given by the boss, take the salary, and come. If I don't stick to this, then with the boss, with the colleagues, with seniors, with juniors, with everyone I create both samsara of someone I like, some I hate. And those whom I like, I want to be with them and do all unwanted things. Those who I don't like, then I fight with them. Have I come for that to the office? Is it not? Everywhere, you get married. How to live with wife or husband. There's a picture clear. If that is not done in any other way, relate with ego and all, संसार पूरा उग्रस्त जीवन जो है, it become नरक. I join politics. Only purpose of politics is serve the nation. Little slip from that delusion. Because of me, the chaos to the world also, to country and to me also. So these are all bits and pieces of examples for how we get deluded by not knowing exactly what for we are sent there and what to do. All those bits and pieces put together is the entire life. That's what yesterday Raja Muchukunda was clearly telling. Today he will say. By we saw Labdva Narajanma Durlabham Ayatnataha. Instead of holding on to your Padaravinda, the human beings are deluded in all the unwanted things. That's the meaning of it. Pashuvat uses the word. Pashu doesn't have intellect to understand. Human being is only human being different from the created other animals, etc. is for using his intellect and only using intellect for the jnanam for the moksha. Jnanam for the that that no more again going into birth and death. So anyone who is not doing that, they're all deluded and pashu. But just like in the pashus also, there are more efficient pashus are there, more productive, useful are there. Therefore, they are more efficient and productive, useful, but pashu only. Okay? One cow gives 3 liter milk, other give 20. That is good, but ultimately it is cow only, not cow by. Be clear, very careful. Slowly let that knowledge sink into us. So here sapekshikam satyam, like the clear water. Then sapekshikam anrutam, like the mirage. In these both ways, who is expressing is Paramatma. But he is neither this nor that. And all these five pairs put together is the individual and total world, gross as well as subtle world. We have to become more clear about this knowledge. Any knowledge becomes clear in understanding only when we spend sufficient time in contemplation. And that contemplation should be in line with what is told by the Shruti Mata and the Guru, not independent way. Then independently सोचो तो और गलत रास्ते में जाते हैं. Mm. Then we saw the beautiful thing yesterday कि अनृतं च तद्विपरीतम. किम पुनः एतत् सर्वम अभवत्. कौन है वो सब ये सब बना. Who is the one who became all this? That is what is said in the last word. Satyam cha anrutam cha abhavatu. Then satyam abhavatu. Satyam cha anrutam cha satyam abhavatu. So how to understand that? Satyam cha anrutam cha. With this, the five pairs are over. And these five pairs के रूप में who has become Satyam Abhavatu, the Sadvastu Brahman with which we started. Tadevanupravishatu, Tadanupravishya. That Sattva only has become all this. Therefore, the intellect's clarity is, if at all we are seeing the world, it is the Parabrahma only, by his own Kamana, by his own Jnana Rupi Tapasya, he himself has manifested in the entire world. There are two aspects. Bhagavan manifesting the entire world is one. In that, all these five pairs also come. Okay, up to Panchamahabhuta Srushti, all this Stula Deha, this Srushti, all is Paramatma has become. All of that. One aspect. Second aspect is Paramatma is entry into the created world. Be alert here. So here the entry of Paramatma in the created world is nothing but for us to seek that Paramatma step by step by traveling in our understanding and acceptance of Him from the grosser to the subtler. Outer world to Annamaya to Pranamaya to Manomaya to Vijnanamaya to Anandamaya to again the Vijnanamaya Guha. There we have to discover Paramatma. The two aspects. Paramatma became everything. Paramatma entered in everything. In this entry of Paramatma in everything, everywhere he is not traceable, reachable by us. His Upalabdhisthana is Nihitam Guhayam. So, two ways we can separate this topic as Bhagavan became everything. And to recognize that Bhagavan, we have to reach that Gufa. And to reach to that Gufa, technically or tactically, it is said that Bhagavan has entered there. So then, entry is not like the entry of a man entering into house after creation. Entry is availability. Upalabdhi sthanam. Upalabdhi dwaram, it's called. Entry. So, Upalabdhi dwara, Upalabdhi sthana, Upalabdhi paddhati. Upalabdhi dwara is Vijnanamaya kosha. Upalabdhi sthana is Vijnanamaya guha. Upalabdhi paddhati is first recognize Shrota, Manta, Drashta, Vijnata. Then they recognize the Chidabhasa. Then recognize the Chitta. Then recognize the Sat. Sat or Asti. This should never be forgotten. This is the where we have to do meditation. But to reach to that meditational poise, we have to free from all our clutches of the mind, etc. vasanas. For that, we have to do Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and all. Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga are the ones which prepare us for the Vedantic meditation. The preparations of these three are tested in Vedantic meditation. Vedantic meditation tested in how much we are able to become deeper in our understanding and perception and identity of our true self. If that's not happening, means all the vasanas, every nonsense is disturbing us. Therefore, कर्म yoga, bhakti yoga, ashtang योग करके उपाधियों को ठिकाने पे लगाकर then come to Vedanta. But main point is what? The Vedantic indicated goal. What is that? The Upalabdhi Dwara, Upalabdhi Pravesha, Upalabdhi Paddhati. Never forget, our goal is to recognize Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman. गुहा बुद्धि गुहा के वो चित आकाश के अंदर सत के रूप में जो परमात्मा है उनको जानने में ही हमको ब्रह्मविद आपनोति परम हो जाता है. Listen to this as many times as required, 2 बार 10 बार 100 बार, till it becomes very clear that this is what we have to do, this is where we have to reach, this is what we have to experience. So then doing everything only for that purpose is sadhana. And not doing anything which is contrary to this is common sense. Otherwise, we cancel what we do. एक कदम आगे लगाए, दो पीछे लगाए, तो क्या हुआ फिर? दो एक कदम पीछे ही गए, आगे नहीं गए. Came with 2000 vasanas and while going added 2000 more without exhausting those 2000, और मे बी 500 एग्जॉस्ट हो गया, तो अगले जन्म के लिए 3500. That is why every spiritual seeker worth naming withdraws from the world with his ego for gaining anything from this world. Otherwise, he involves in the world only to exhaust vasanas, exhaust prarabdhas, exhaust the dharma. That's it. If that clarity comes, then we are really understanding spirituality, we are really matured. ये सब वेग है, कभी सुन रहे कभी नहीं सुन रहे, समझ रहे नहीं समझ रहे, and never leaving the world or samsara in the mind with so many expectations keeping on involving same thing means we are all balaha, we are all bachalo. Balam sampraya na pratibhati. The growth in spirituality is in the clarity of all these understandings. I have to reach to that Sadbrahma Anubhuti that is behind the Chaitana, that is behind Chidabhasa. All these are in Vijnanamaya Gufa. I am lost in Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya. When I am tired of them, I go to Anandamaya. So first Vijnana, Vedanta, all your spiritual classes are awakening and making us enter into Vijnanamaya Kosha. Vicharana Pradhana, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Inquiry Pradhana. Knowing. See, sleeping or enjoying is Anandamaya Kosha's Lakshana. Feeling and projecting is Manomaya Kosha Lakshana. Acting is the Pranamaya Kosha Lakshana. Perceptions are the Indriyas Lakshana. Just supporting or avoiding all of them is Annamaya Lakshana. None of them give us moksha. Moksha is only through Vijnanamaya Koshas, inquiry and knowing what is true, what is not true. What is real and unreal, what is projected, what is substratum, what is superimposed. Finally, what is to be recognized. Okay. So, in these 5 pairs of Rupa, what is that which has become Kim Tat Etat Sarvam Abhavatu? Answer is Satyam. Is the Satyam like the earlier Sapekshikam Satyam? That the water in Mrugatushna? No. It is Paramartha Satyam. Satyam Chandrutam में Satyam is Sapekshika Satyam, relative reality compared to the unreality in the relative world. Example was Mruga water, real water. Here it is Paramartha Satyam. See how cutely Shankara Bhagwan's guidance. So Upanishad में आता एक वर्ड बोलकर आगे गई. सत्यम च अनृतम च सत्यम अभवतु हो गया. सत्यम इज परमार्थ सत्यम. And kim punah tatu? What is that Paramartha Satyam? Brahma. Which Brahma? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Which Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma? Hare, idi Prakrutatvat, from where we started. The whole topic, the whole context is this. From where the second Valli started. Brahma vidapnoti param tad Brahma. तदेशाभ्युक्ता सत्यम ज्ञानम अनंतम ब्रह्म. सो सत्यम ज्ञान अनंतम लक्षणों से बताया हुआ ब्रह्म जो पूरा अभी सब्जेक्ट का टॉपिक है वही है ब्रह्म परमार्थ सत्यम which has become all these five. And throughout this discussion, that common point should never be forgotten. Ki the becoming of this Brahman as all this is the creation of the Brahman of all this. The creation of Brahman of all this is expressing from the unmanifest stage to the manifest stage. And this manifest stage expression is not like the father and son. When the son is born, the father is, son is, both are separate. No. In that created world, in and through, that cause Rupi Parabrahma is inherently there. The two examples, the father created son, but both are separate. But the mud and mud pot created, the mud is always in the pot. Gold ornament, gold created ornaments. Gold is very much in the ornaments. So too, the Brahman created world and he left it aside and he went for Ghumna. No, father created son and he went for some outing or some camping or some of the what do you say duty के लिए परदेश में गया. ऐसा नहीं हो. Parabrahman is very much is there. So therefore, Brahma, be attentive, is Kamana and the arrival of Srushti. In the Srushti, Brahman is there. About these things, after listening to the sixth Anuvaka, we should never have any doubt. But we have to work out it on our deeper contemplation, meditation, till we experience. All that put together, what should therefore make us know? फाइनली क्या हमको पता होना चाहिए एंटायर मैनिफेस्ट वर्ल्ड is the manifestation of the unmanifest Rupanama from the Brahman. And in this entire manifest Rupanama world, inherently Brahman is everywhere there. So when we transcend that Rupanama, then we will be experiencing that Brahma Tattva. So therefore, the whole job is transcending Rupanama. The Stula Rupanamas are the outer Jagat, the Sukshma Rupanama are the Vrittis of the mind, thoughts of the mind. When the thoughts cease, there is no mind. What do you see is Paramatma. These thoughts cease also in the sleep, but that is an unconscious way of entering into thoughtlessness. But this meditation is a conscious way of entering into thought freeness. And this entry into conscious self by being thought free on the meditational seat never happens unless the vasanas are burnt away. Otherwise, they will go on pushing us into the thought zone. Therefore, inevitably, many lives required to eliminate the existing vasanas, not allowing new ones to come. But jnana, the Brahman alone, real, everything is mithya. It is only a cause of bondage. I don't want them. This jnana is such a powerful agni that it burns all the past vasanas. That ability is there in that, provided that jnanam is so thorough. Prarabdha goes on. For the deha it is. So this should be the clarity. This clarity we arrived after 3 years of study of Shastra. Those who just now start, उनको ये सब बताओ, they only become the bouncer only. They don't even understand one thing. You understand now why the struggle was going on from last few years to study with Bhashyam, the Upanishads. Still it's not over. I believe at least 3-4 more rounds of same Upanishads. Again when we study, then our understandings become deeper. At that time, if you don't do any other nonsense to thicken our intellects, distract our minds, add to our vasanas, make the senses slaves to the objects, ये सब nonsense नहीं करेंगे तो है ना, take 2 more doses or two more courses of this medicine, you will become thoroughly healthy. Provided all the nonsense which brought your health this way, if you don't do it. Is not the doctor that way advises? Same. So this clarity in the intellect has to come. It was not coming because intellect was engaged in serving the mind with its desires. Mind was having desires because of plenty of vasanas gathered in many, many lives. Body and senses, like the slaves, bechare, do what the mind and vasana says. Intellect cannot do anything except approving what mind says. A henpecked husband, JKG. What the intellect, when it is given the entire knowledge of Vedanta, again and again it starts gathering its strength. It recognizes its own true purpose. Its purpose is to help the owner of the intellect, called as the Jiva, to recognize his oneness with the self. And that is by eliminating vasanas, by controlling the mind, by not indulging through the senses in the world, by not become slave to the body. That intellect we need. Is it not? The purpose of all the studies becoming subuddhi. Subuddhyaiva gamyaha, sudhyaiva gamyaha, partho vakta, sudhir bhokta, partho vatsa, sudhi bhokta. We see, sudhi means this the one. Sudhyaiva gamya in the phone shetkam we chant. It is this sudhi. Okay, in three times as it was said in Kriya Yoga. So dhimantaha, sudhi, dhiya. Meaning is this, that intellect which, because thoroughly understood Shastra, has found the true purpose and it means, therefore it is not lost in the delusion like the earlier times, that is called as Sudhi. In all Vedantic classes, the Guru creates that Sudhi to us, provided we will allow him. The only way allowing is being regular and sincere. How long? Till the Sudhi is created. Are we ready? Nahi, again go back to the mind and senses and through the world, through them into the world. Then all the ashuddhis to the buddhi are added. All the antarayas are avail mujamar invited. Then how can you do samadhi and yoga sadhana? Higher Vedanta vicharana, na yoga. So, satcha tyacha, niruktam aniruktam, nilainam anilainam, then vijnanam avijnanam, then satyam chanrutam. In all these 5 pairs, that satyam alone abhavat. Here the meaning of satyam is what? So, Upanishad Mata said satyam. Bhashyakara will tell. This satyam is not sapekshika satyam, it is paramartha satyam. Which paramartha satyam? Brahma. Which Brahma? Satya Jnanavananta Brahma. Which Satyam Jnanavananta Brahma? Prakrutam. Prakrutam means for understanding which the Upanishad has come, for understanding which we are studying. Understanding means first intellectually, thereafter experience and moksha. वो ब्रह्म ही स्वरूप में है. Now it just intellectual initiation has happened to us to inquire. Make it deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper with all logics, examples. The Rupanama coming and going, but the Satta is substratum is always there. Rupanama are only in our mind and mouth and the eyes. In the mouth as the Nama, in the eye is the Rupa, in the mind the amalgam of both of them in the form of thought. So pure existence or Paramatma is in the form of this world, everywhere. But the form seen by the eye, the word or name by the mouth, creates a thought as if it is independent of that Brahman. Like I see a wall. Eye is seeing the wall. Mouth is calling it as a wall. A wall's thought is made in the mind. Remember here, for the wall to stand there, what is there is Parabrahman. For my mouth to speak, there is Parabrahma behind the mouth. For the eye to see, there is Parabrahma behind. For the, mind to have a thought, the Parabrahma is there behind. So one Parabrahma dichotomized as one place as an object, the wall, other place the thought of the object in the mind, in other place the form of the object in the eye and has a name of the object in the mouth. So the upadhis are creating the rupanama ityadi in pure Parabrahma. In fact, the upadhis also have come from Parabrahma. Therefore, upadhis, when they are used outside, then the world is imagined as real. When the upadhis are turned inwards, and in all these upadhis, for the internal turning, anna prana mana are not helpful. Vijnanamaya. Indriyas are not helpful. Vijnanamaya. Then Vijnanamaya kosha, when we use it for the inquiry, then slowly we reach to the truth. It's only inquiry and knowing that there is only one truth, all else are appearances. If they have only maximum Vyavaharika Sattha. Vyavahara is only for sadhana and knowing the self. All other things, that the Vyavaharic thing is real, it is a giver of sukha, I must possess it and more quantity and only me should not be given to others. If others have, I must loot from them. Everything is the secondary, third level of destroying projections of the mind. To live life, I need food. Full stop. But that food be of this quantity, this quality, this variety, these many to be added, this garnishing, this masala. All of that are not for real purpose for which the food is there to survive. These are all added things. And we are lost in them. So the essential is forgotten, non-essentials are given importance. That's called samsara. So more and more contemplation required to get clear picture in the intellect of the understanding. Now comes the next beautiful analysis, which we were to study. The last line. What is the last line? Satchatyacha bhavatu niruktam cha niruktam cha nilayanam cha nilayanam cha vijnanam cha vijnanam cha satyam cha anrutam cha satyam abhavatu. Up this we have seen. One more line is there. Yadidam kincha tat satyamittya chakshate. It is to be explained. Then tadapyesa shloko bhavati. Even to authorize, justify it, there is a shloka even in Veda, even for this topic of Brahma also. Again, a big topic it is, we will study it. But here, last one sentence to be understood, yadidam kincha tat satyam iti achakshate. So, whatever, therefore, in this world, in these five pairs only it can be put. In that way, Brahman alone is expressing. Therefore, tat satyamiti achakshate. There are two things. Therefore, the support of all these called as Brahman is very much existing and existing as existence. So, this is how the gurus or the visionaries have experienced it and they have mentioned to it through the Upanishads. That meaning, tat satyam iti achakshate, Bhashyakara gives. Then he summarizes what we have studied so far, which we saw yesterday also entire class. So, yadidam kincha tat satyam iti achakshate. Yadidam kincha, in this way, anything in this world falling in these five pairs only, all of that is for the Brahman only expressing. Tat satyamiti tat satyamiti achakshate. That is why it is called as satyam. That one para we have to study with bhashyam. Bhashyakara says ki yasmat sat tyatu adikam murta amurta dharma jatam yat kincha idam sarvam avishishtam vikara jatam ekam eva sachabdavacham brahma. Because of these analysis we have done now, what is the natija of that? Ki satyatadikam, satyata is murta amurtadi. Yat kincha, whatever that is there, idam sarvam, in this world, everything, avishishtam, without sparing anything, vikara jatam, which is all nothing but the vikara, modification, ekameva satchabdavacham brahma abhavatu. One Sapshabda named Brahman alone is becoming through all these five pairs the entire globe or universe. Why? One logic given tad vyatireka abhavat Tad vyatirekena abhavat nama rupa vikarasya. Because the entire vikara of the nama rupa, here vikara means manifestation from the unmanifest stage. Entire vikara yukta nama rupadi can never be without that sat. Tad vyatirekena abhavat nama rupa vikarasya. That is why the rishis munis have said what they said. Tasmat tad brahma satyam iti achakshate brahma vidaha. Therefore, the Brahma Vedas say that Brahman to be Satya. Satya means true. Satya means existing. Satya means existing as existing truly. Existence truly. Tat satyamiti achakshate brahma vidaha. See the whole topic then? Asanneva savati asat brahmeti veda chet. Asti brahmeti chet veda. Then athatonu prashna. These are all answer to the prashna. अस्ति वा नास्ति वा गच्छति वा न गच्छति समश्नुते वा न समश्नुते. Yet the subject is not complete. Why? Because that satyam is not an intellectual understanding. We have got intellectual understanding, but it never gives moksha. The completion is what? That satyam is me. See, tat satyam sa atma tattvam asive setaketo. See, that is what satyam, that is your atma, that atma is you, O Shvetaketu. That's how the tattvas mahakya, 9 times it comes in the Chandogya Upanishad. 9 examples he gives, and through those 9 examples, to that Brahma, that Guru Father takes the son Shishya. So the journey completes only in that Guha Hruday mein, I am that Brahman experience is gained to. Otherwise, it's only academic knowledge. We continue to be a jiva, identify the upadhis, run with ragadvesha, committing all commotion, and getting janma marana samsara again and again. No meaning at all for Brahma Vidya again. You become a philosopher. हाँ जानते हैं, हाँ कुछ उपनिषद सुना है and all. And in one of the centers, intelligent people. Therefore, fatavat in 5-6 years they studied all Upanishad. And then they think they are now in Brahma Sthiti and don't care anyone. Whatever they want, that alone they think that is right. They can't expand their intellect at all. To understand that in everyone the Brahman is there, the Lord can speak through everyone, can work through everyone. In fact, it is my ego on the name of Brahma Jnana is becoming a block to my own growth and others' growth and the organization's growth. Even the smallest thing they are not able to understand. Because of the arrogance born that I am Brahman, because I studied Upanishads. Most dangerous fellow in this world is theoretical Brahmajnani. Yeah, because he's in an illusion and delusion. I have understood that I am greater than everybody, therefore I must command, demand others. If anything goes wrong, I will quote all Upanishads and explain to them and make them mesmerized and prove I am intelligent than them. They must listen to me. देखो महामाया कहाँ तक काम करती है. It is not only in Brahma Vidya art, in every other arts. The one who's expert is becoming any art. If is not careful that this art is given to me by the Lord, this art has to be used to serve the Lord. All of them got lost because of that art only, when it was misused for something else. Is it not? It is true, like I'm a singer, an artist. So the singing capacity who gave God, what for whom for I have to sing for the God, then I am not bound. But if that singing capacity taken by the Lord, given by the Lord, if I say it is my capacity, then if I use it to get my own egos propitiated and then to get the money, name, and fame, totally wrong track I am going on. And inside also I suffer the samsara with comparisons and all. Outside also I suffer samsara in doing problems. It happens in every field. There are great, great singers suppressed by these singers who are in the limelight, never allowed them to come to top. They're great, great sports person. because of their arrogance, never allowed the new generation of the sports person to come up. There are great, great politicians with their arrogance never allowed the next generation of genuine politicians to come up. Everywhere you see it. You know that? You know it by name also. Even now it is happening. Why? Because whatever is given to me is by God, and to serve the God, when this basic is missed, whatever the things we have, they alone become liability to us. And this example is, or this principle extends even to the Brahma Vidya. If the Brahma Vidya is not used for my own anubhuti, then I carry the load of it and I want to give to everyone, and nobody is interested in that. They run away. Or those are there who already have it. Our goal is not Brahma Vidya, our goal is Brahma Anubhuti. With Brahma Vidya intact there, Anubhuti is Aham Jivosmi. There's no love to others, no compassion to others, no, not even seeing the goodness in others, seeing others as enemy, lower than me. How can it be? हो श्री माया मोह महामाया है, ये और फंसाती है. Okay, be careful. Let us all aim at only the experience, not only theoretical knowledge. But without knowledge, we can't do sadhana. Not only that, we'll be more and more lost in the samsaric world. As he'll be told by Raja Muchukunda again today. Okay, now let us see this paragraph. This we have seen. Yasmat satyatadikam murta murta dharma jatam yat kincha idam sarvam avishishtam vikara jatam ekameva satyabdavachyam brahma abhavatu. Why? Tad vyatirekena abhavat namarupa vikarasya. There is no namarupa vikara without that brahma. Tasma, therefore, tad brahma satyam iti achakshite brahma vidaha. Therefore, the Brahmavetas say that that Brahman is there. The Brahman is there as existing, and he is there existing there as pure existence, without whom the entire Satya, Tyat, all these five pairs cannot exist at all. All these intellectual, you can't show it with eyes, or we cannot talk with the mouth to in any way prove it. Intellectual grasping. So with this, that sixth Anuvaka completed with one sentence left. What is that? Tadapyesha sloko bhavati. But before taking up the Tadapyesha sloko bhavati, whose meaning is so simple that even for this Brahmapucham Pratishtha, there is a sloka quotation in Rigveda. The main Upanishad is from Krishna Yajurveda. This Upanishad is following this trend of the Upanishad Rishi giving the knowledge to the Shishya and quoting the example of Rigveda for the authority or substantiation of what he is talking. Every कोश का उन्होंने किया. ब्रह्म पंचम कोश आनंदमय को भी बताया. अभी आनंदमय कोश का पुच्छम कौन है? ब्रह्म है. उस ब्रह्म को बताने के लिए भी here is a quotation. But before that, as I said yesterday, beautifully this Bhashyakara summarizes what we have studied in sixth Anuvakam, and from the first to sixth Anuvakams so far in the Brahmavalli, Brahmananda Valli, Ananda Valli. That is a beautiful flow of the whole thought development. Excellent it is. Summary. I'll just read it out. ऐसे ऐसे ये क्या कहते हैं कि अस्ति नास्ति इति अनुप्रश्नः प्रकृतः. पढ़ने के टाइम ही मैं एक्सप्लेन करूंगा. द टाइम इज सेव्ड, टुमारो वी कैन गो अहेड. 5 मिनट. अस्ति नास्ति इति अनुप्रश्नः प्रकृतः. Okay, what is the context? Prakrita means context में. What is taken in the context for discussion? Asti and Nasti. Anuprashna. Anu means after listening the first sentence, there is a prashna. What are the first two sentences? Asanneva sabhavati asat brahmedi veda chet, asti brahmedi chet veda santamenam tato vidriti. After these two sentences heard, then a doubt came in the mind of disciple. He as if asked the Guru. Guru, now it's his responsibility to answer. He went on answering. What answered? Tasya prativachana vishaye. Prativachana vishaye. In in trying to explain or reply to this question of the disciple. उस प्रश्न का प्रतिवचन देने के विषय में ये तद उत्तम. This is what is said. So how clear you see? The disciple asked a question, Guru to reply that question with the answer. This all is said. What is all said? Atma kamayata. That the Atma is desire. And what is the desire of Atma? Ki Bhashyam iti. That I will become many. Then that Atma which has had a desire to become many, it expressed or fulfilled its desire because it has its capacity. Then what did he do? Ki saha yatha kamam cha, as he desired, akashadi karyam, he created akashadi, which are karanam for the subsequent gross world, but they are karya of the Brahma. ब्रह्म ही कारणम, सबसे मूल कारण. सो दैट ब्रह्म ही कामना किया बहुत बनने के लिए खुद. देन ही बिकेम द कॉज. देन ही क्रिएटेड द इफेक्ट और द कार्यम आकाशादि. दैट आकाशादि कार्यम, what it got later on expressed as satatyatadi lakshanam, satatyatadi lakshanam, in that way. So this is how Brahman tat sruštva, having created so, tad anupravishya, having entered into it, now he is available for us for recognition. That is what is entry. In what way is available? Pravishya, Pashyan, Shrunvanaha, Manvanaha, Vijanan, Bahu Abhavat. Okay? Who is only one, but he is appearing as if appearing as many. Be attentive. Only these two things you have to understand. As we said yesterday, I look with the eyes, I listen with the ears, I smell with the nose, taste with the tongue, and touch with the skin, feel with the mind, think with intellect. Is this way I am seven or one? The seer through the eyes, listener through the ears, smeller through the nose. Are they three entities or one? Only one, no? Now extend this to the whole universe. That through every of the equipments in the world, as they were in the individual level, my eyes, through every eye, he alone is seeing. This is called Vedanta with intellectual understanding. Then experience आ जाएगा अपने आत्म स्वरूप का, तो वो तो clearly is known. Whether a human being or a tiger or an animal or the bird, through every eye I am the seer. Through every ear I am the listener. Through every mind I am the feeler. Through every intellect I am the thinker. Now imagine वो वाला स्थिति क्या होगा? When I recognize that oneself, which is expressing through all Vyashti Upadhis as well as Samashti. I am the. So instead of recognizing him and knowing him to be expressing through all, we are identifying with the expression of the same Brahma from one equipment, and we are holding on to that only, differentiating with others and forgetting the real self. So the seer of the in me through the eye is different from the seer in you, and I am separate from the total real seer. This is what samsara. Otherwise, the seer through your eye, through my eye, through everyone's eye is one Paramatma. Such knowledge, when it is there, then the love, the forgiveness, they're all natural. They're not struggles now. All the values. That's how the Jivan Muktas, naturally they are valuing all values which become a practice for us. For Antakarana Shuddhi. Siddhasya Lakshanani Sadhakasya Sadhanani. So Pashyan Shrunvan Manvanaha Ityadim Vijanan Bahu Abhavatu. He alone. Again refer. Tomorrow I'll start with this only because not satisfied. Thoroughly. This summarizing of the entire topic we'll study for 10-15 minutes tomorrow. You can do little homework also. So the discussion started with the question by the Bhorabakshi. Astiva nasti iti. To answer that question, the answer is so kamayata. Kamana is Bahusyam. And then he became Akashadikaryam, and through that Sat Tyatyadi 5 pairs. Then for our availability, he entered and started behaving. What way he entered and started behaving? He entered to Vijnanamaya Kosha, started behaving as what? Pashyan, Shrunvan, Manvanaha, Vijnanaha. That's what is Drashta, Shrutavanta, Vijnata he became. So he became Drashta by using the eyes to see the Drishya. So Pashyan means अब देखते हुए देखने वाला बना, सुनते हुए सुनने वाला बना, मन के द्वारा भावना करते हुए भावना वाला बना. So Brahman only became that individual who through the upadhis becoming so many. Okay, एक ही विज्ञानमय कोश, उसमें एक ही चिदाभास, but he through the buddhi, the knower, mind feeler, with the eyes seer, with the ears listener, he became. Did he become many? Yes and no. Through the upadhi, becoming many. Like, did I become many? Yeah. Through upadhi. Hearer is listener is different, speaker is different, seer is different. Yet it is no, because I am the one only who is integrating all these experiences. Otherwise, I cannot coordinate with between what is seen by the eye and listened by the ears. है ना? नहीं तो confusion हो जाएगा. अगर एक ही बंदा अंदर नहीं है कोऑर्डिनेट करने को, देन कौन किसको मैं देख रहा हूँ आंख से, किससे को सुन रहा हूँ मैं कान से, ये दोनों का मैचिंग नहीं होगा. लाइक यू स्टैंड इन फ्रंट एंड टॉक टू मी, I know it is you only are who is standing and talking. I don't have two experiences, that the listener is someone and the one talker is someone, speaker, and the one who is standing in front of me is separate. Why? The seer in me has seen you, but the hearer in me has heard you. So both are different. So I will have to see you as two people. But I'm not seeing so. I'm integratedly having experience of everything. That shows that the integrating individuality is one inside. Therefore, one only becoming many through the upadhis. Pashyan, drashta, shrunvan, shrota, manvan, manta, vijanan, vijnata. He alone is becoming. That is the meaning of it. Then what? Tasmat, therefore, tad eva idam, that alone, that Parabrahma, which is here, Akashadi Karanam, cause of the Akashadi, Karyastham, who is very much permeated in all the Karya, Parame Vyoman, in that internal, innermost space, Swadaya Guhayam, in the cave of the heart, Nihitam, is very much there. Tat pratyaya abhasa visheshena upalabhyamanam. Tat pratyaya is the chidabhasa. चिदाभास का अवभास के रूप में, the cause of the चिदाभास के रूप में अस्ति इति एवं विजानीयात इति उक्तम भवति. In this way, the Brahman has to be understood. The Upanishads, this Anuvaka is to be understood. That is what we struggle to explain you. That is being told now. You study it as many as times required till you get the clear understanding. Now you understand how important this para, the summary. Yeah, the gist summary is so beautiful it is. That's why it needs one more round of explanation. Tomorrow we do this. Then Tadapesha Sloko Bhavat is nothing to comment there, little bit. Then we enter into Saptam Onumaka tomorrow. Thank you. Sarvam Parabrahma Gurunam Charanaravindaranvastu. Om 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 Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Om Sri Guru Bhyo Paramarashabhyo Brahmane Sutimatre Namah श्रीवेदव्यास वैशंपायनाग्निवल्क्याद्य शंकरादिगुरुभ्यो नमः अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः तत्सत् ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु. Right. Just 2 minutes. Join back for